try to understand. But the thing about our truth is, try not to understand it, try to feel it. You know what I mean? Because that's really what it is. Like, as a people from the islands, that's how we communicate with feelings, not words, really. In Santiago, for instance, in Santiago, which is the biggest island, it's the capital, right? When I say Badiou, right? Badiou means like the black people from the islands, the greatest, I'm trying to find the correct term here, with the greatest stock of African culture and blood, right? So you have Badious and Sampajous, right? We have a whole historical phenomenon going on. Badious and Sampajous out there, as they claim the Badious are literally the rebels that ran away. So that's why they call Badious, which comes from the Portuguese term Badious, rebels. You know what I mean? So they say, okay, that's where you get the term Badious. And then os Palhudos, or Sampajous, it comes from the term os Palhudos, the one that worked around the slave masters. So you get a whole politics of house Negro, field Negro. Anyway, that's another long story. So, let me say the Creole. Aqui Badiou da Jata, right? Jata. It's a war chant. I couldn't do it right now because, you know what I mean? Like, it's something real, like, you know what I'm talking about. In the countryside or in the city, when you hear Jatu, it's like supersonic scream of, you just hear it. Like, you have to feel it. I can't describe a Jatu. Like, you think somebody's just being loud, or just being obnoxious, and just being rowdy just because it goes something like, it's a loud scream, like, woo! It goes from one valley to another, like, and everybody kind of despises that. Like, in our culture, Badious are looked at as the brutes, the low downs, because you're expressing these feelings and emotions, which are African. The roots of all that comes from Africa. But they don't want to deal with that. They don't want us to understand this politics of that. So they invited me to the countryside before I came like 2 months ago. And I was speaking on, it was on the mountainside with these elders. They do batuk. I don't know if you guys know batuk. You know what that is? You know what batuk is? Batuk, anybody? It's really African. See, that's the beauty of it. When they tell you about Cape Verdean culture, they hide all these important, crucial aspects of our culture, and they keep it hidden. And they don't talk about Cesare Avila, which is great. They talk about Marna, which is great. But they only do it because Marna is the musical style closest to what the Portuguese literally allowed us to sing back home, because Badiou culture, or black culture back home, was literally banned. Funana Batu. It was not allowed up in Plateau, which was the downtown area after a certain time, after 5 o'clock. The black people were really, literally, we lived under apartheid regime way back. So you couldn't express these thoughts and feelings as a people. You know what I mean? Why am I saying all this? It goes back to the subject of feeling. You know what I mean? So, for anybody here to understand our culture, you must feel the culture. You know what I'm talking about. When you went back home, you felt the culture. That's why I was telling you, we need to start living in the past and stop living in the present and try to build the future. Because we know the comfort of existence through our past. Whether it's suffering, whether it's comfort. You know the story of your grandma. You got stories of your mom. That's real facts. You have to go back to the past constantly to draw strength towards anything. That's why I said we have to really start understanding and respecting our elders. That's why I hate when I hear Cape Verdeans talking about calling our elders bedge. Bedge is a term which means, we even use it as old, an old person. Old? What do you You mean old? Old as in old shoes that you throw away? Old as in something that you don't need anymore in your life? Because we don't understand this politics of things. Because only we or you or her or the young ones are allowed to kiss and love, but we never think about the needs of our ancient ones to kiss and caress. That's why when you have your grandparents at home, you don't even ask them if they need privacy or if they even need space. But if you're dealing with a young person, you automatically assume, because relationships are not built just on sex and that low vibe energy right there. So I'm constantly trying to remind us of that space. Because one day, we're going to be the ones longing for that space, and it will not be tolerated. It will not be available because we did not build that space. You see what I mean? Because all we do is take our elders and put them in front of TV at home and just, we never ask them, do you need a partner? Do you feel the need? You see, our culture is about feeling, but we are too mechanical with our emotions nowadays. And then I was telling him, we need to start building a space for our ancestors. He's a builder. You build a house. You build a bedroom for your kids, for you and your wife, for your husband. You build for your friends, your family when they come over, but you never take the time to build a space for your ancestors. Yeah. When was the last time you invited any one of them into your home? See, that's the African way. You have to feel it. I'm not talking about religion here. I respect every religion existing. I respect cultures and tradition. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is our culture. I'm sharing that experience of the local culture, which is being forgotten. You see what I mean? Because I remember my grandmother, she used to wake up every morning and she used to pray. She was a Catholic. And then she used to sit there and pray for hours. I'm like, Grandma, what are you doing? I'm praying for all my grandkids. I'm like, Grandma, you got about 400 grandkids. What are you doing? Oh, no, it's not just you guys. It's my kids, their wives and husbands, and you guys and my neighbors. I'm like, wow, so how come all of a sudden now, because she's not here physically, I'm not taking the time to invite her over? She took the time to remember each and every single one of us. Well, she's not here. She's no longer valid. You see, we have to constantly live in the past. We need to start going. Because you see, the way we going, the way we heading right now, is towards what? So let me find comfort in my past. Because we're talking about who? I started talking about Milton Cabral. Milton Cabral has this term, he calls it return to the source. Return to the source means you return to where? To your ancestral ground. That's where you find comfort. That's where he drew strength and strategy to win that war. People talk about Milton Cabral in a political sense. Forget all that. I don't get involved with politics because they're all my brothers. You know what I mean? So I won't tell you, I won't bat my one party versus the other, because they all came from the same home place. They all be buried in the same cemetery. They all brothers anyway, because you guys don't see it. So don't fall into that trap or believe it, because I live back home. I live in Cape Verdean, and I see them dining and going to each other's houses every day. They buddies with each other. So don't believe the hype. They don't hate each other. So, and the last thing you'll catch me doing is saying something bad about my country or my people. I won't do that. You know what I mean? People ask me all the time, yo, how's Cape Verde? I'm like, Cape Verde is great. Yo, what do you mean? I heard about, or you heard about what? What did you hear about? Oh, a lot of robberies and a lot of robberies. How many? Because I can put my data right now and compare it to your city. Or we get like what? 1 per day? How many you get here in New Bedford daily? Oh, so no, go there. Oh, I heard they kill a lot of people in Cape Verde. Oh, you heard what? 10 in a year? Or how many you get in America? oh, let's not go there. So, nah. Right? I mean, what, you want a perfect society? It won't happen. You're talking about broke country, a poor country, you're doing fine now. Nobody's starving. I mean, people are starving, but nobody dying of starvation. I see poor people in America every day. I've been to Los Angeles. I've been to California. I seen Skid Row. We ain't got Skid Row in Cape Verde, so we doing fine. Yeah, I seen your Hollywood. I seen your Hollywood. Yeah, and I've seen the toxic waste of your Hollywood. I've seen how you cast your spell out there with all your actors, and I've seen the real actors in action of that. It's right there in downtown LA. And yet they ain't making no movies about Skid Row. So we're fine. We became independent in 1975, poor country. We don't export anything. We don't produce anything. But we're doing fine. So if anybody expect me to sit here and say anything bad about Cape Verde, I'm not gonna happen. Not because I'm patriotic, because I'm honest. You know what I mean? So, Cabral kind of directed towards, he led the war based on the spiritual philosophy. But they won't tell you these things. They want to engage in political conversations and debates, whether he was perfect or not. He was a man. He was a spirit in a human body. What perfection you talking about? He was human. Not find perfection in that. But let's deal with the philosophy that he embodied himself with, he surrounded himself with. Returning to the source, going back to your ancestors to draw strength. Because when we look at the numbers, that war didn't make sense. Literally. If you look at the numbers, you would think, this is crazy, this is suicide. There's no way we can win this war. The Portuguese had the American government and all the weaponry, South African government on their side. They had 10 soldiers for every 2 or 3 soldiers from Guinea and Cape Verde, which were mostly from Guinea-Bissau, which is ironic because I find a lot of Cape Verdeans bad-mouthing our brothers from Guinea-Bissau, but poor, people, because we don't understand. Literally that the war was fought on Guinean soil. Because we don't have, geographically, it wouldn't make sense to fight that war in Cape Verde because we're small, isolated islands. So Cabral took the war to Guinea-Bissau. So it was fought in their home. More soldiers died from Guinea-Bissau than from Cape Verde. Way more. So there's blood running. So for us now to even have the courage to say anything bad about Guinea-Bissau, or our brothers from Guinea-Bissau is just outrageous to me, but it goes back to that. Unless you know your history, you're literally lost. So Cabral, I was telling him, when was the last time you invited a milker into your home? When was the last time you spoke? We talk about Cabral, but that's just useless and baseless unless we deal with them. You see, like we dealing with each other right now. We built it. When we came out, I said these chairs were all full. Like I feel thousands of spirits around us, everywhere. Y'all looking, and they're rejoicing right now. Because as we sitting down like right now praising them, most of our people out there forgetting them. That's why I said we need to start living in the past to find healing. It won't be government programs. It won't be, that money that's being given out. I heard all the way from Cape Verde that there's money being dished out left and right. That won't solve any problems. That won't resolve the issues right now. It's not about Trump or Biden. This is about we need to heal in the past. Draw strength from the past. Literally. That's the African spirit. That's what Milka was saying. We need to start building spaces for our ancestors in our homes. You got a problem, you call your buddy, you call your friend, you call your partner, you call your sister, you call all these people, and what they're supposed to do? Somehow they're supposed to guide you? But since when? Since when did you start giving them that strong of a credit? Are they griots? Are they wise men and women? Or because they buddies? Are they your buddies? But that got nothing to do with healing, you see? Praise someone not because they're your family, not because they're of your race, not because you like them, not because they're your buddies, but because of dignity. Because that's the issue. America, we fought a war, and America said, America Cabral said, this war is about dignity. We're not against the Portuguese people. We are fighting for dignity. You see? And we have lost that.